Hi, welcome to our second part of our Java tutorial series by 6165 Cuttlefish. Today we will be going over variables. So the first variable we're going to go over is the string, which basically is a word, phrase, or sentence, or paragraph even. And then you can recognize it's a string when declaring by putting in the double parentheses, the double quotations around the word or phrase. And then following the string, there's also the char, which can only store characters like letters and numbers, like single digit numbers and letters. And then you can also store like periods, commas, really anything that's just one character or letter. And then there's also integer, which is 32 bits, and there's the long, which are 64 bits. They can only store integer numbers. The long can store longer integer numbers compared to the integer, and they can also go into negatives, like -1. And then there's also the double, which can store decimals, such as 1.1. So here we can convert a decimal into an integer. So basically it's already -1, but we're gonna change it to 1.1. But since we can't have a double as an integer, we can cast it as an int, and then it will get rid of this decimal place, and then it will print out 1 like this. See, it prints out 1. And then the last one we have is called the Boolean, which basically returns true or false statements. And then so one thing we can do with integers is if we have like an integer named Fred and it's set it to like 5, then an integer named Freddy and we can set it to 7, then we have another integer called int Bob equal to Fred plus Freddy, then Bob should print out 12, which is going on this. And then we can also do the same with doubles, so we could make them all double. See here it gives you an error because you cannot have two doubles become an int. So what we can do is we can put this in parentheses and then use the thing called casting, and then it won't give you an error, and it'll still, we can like make this 5.0 and 7.0, and it'll return you 12. And then a very important thing with integers is that if you are going to do something, I'll just comment this out really quick. If you are going to divide like integer Bob equals like 5, and then integer Bob 2 equal 2, and then if you have integer Bob 3 equal Bob divided by Bob 2, you would think it would print out 2.5, but since, or you think it would give it an error, but a very cool thing with integers is that it will basically divide, it will find that it's 2.5, but then it will round down to 2. Or it will just go down, like even if it ends up as 2.9, it will always go down to the closest integer, which is lower than it. So here it will be like 2, and then if we change this to 3.9, it will be like 3. 3.7 will still be 3. And comment that. So if we print this statement out, it will print out 2. And if you want it to print out 2.5, you can change this to a double, and then it'll print out. And then you have to cast the first one as a double. You have to cast Bob as a double, so it'll become 5.0, and then it'll print out 2.5. And then we will go more into depth into strings and characters and chars into the next video, and then we'll also go into conditional statements, which is basically comparing integers, strings, and booleans in the video after that. I hope you enjoyed it and found this helpful, and we'll see you next video.